Welcome back. The planned arraignment of the registered trustees of the Synagogue Church of All Nations and two engineers who constructed its collapsed six-story building failed to go on today at the Lagos High Court sitting in Ikeja. The arraignment was stalled owing to the absence of 3 out of the 5 defendants charged before the court by the Lagos State Government. While the registered trustees of the church and one Jadni Trust Limited, the first and second defendants, were represented by counsel in court, the third to fifth defendants, Hard Rock Construction Engineering Company, and the two engineers, Oladele Ogundeji and Akimbela Fatiregun, were not represented. The state's Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Niji Kazim, told Presiding Justice Lateef Lawal Akapo that the state has not been able to serve the 3 defendants with a copy of the charge. Meanwhile, the state has slammed a 111-count charge against the accused persons. In count 1, the registered trustees of the Synagogue Church and the other defendants are charged with failure to obtain building approval contrary to Section 41 of the Urban and Regional Planning Law of Lagos State. In count 2 to 111, the other accused persons are charged with involuntary manslaughter, which led to the death of 116 persons, mostly South Africans, in September 12, 2014. The court has adjourned till the 11th of December.
In September 2014, a 6-story building belonging to the Synagogue Church of All Nations collapsed in the Ikotun area of Lagos. 2 weeks later, on September 26, the Lagos State Government set up a coroner's inquest presided over by Chief Magistrate Oyetade Komalafe to ascertain the cause of the collapse with a view to forestalling a recurrence. A consultant pathologist and the Chief Medical Examiner of Lagos State, Professor John Obafunwa, told the coroner that a total of 116 persons died. Facts also emerged that most of the victims were South Africans who were in Nigeria on religious tourism. After 11 months, the coroner, in his verdict of July 8, 2015, indicted the Synagogue Church and the 2 engineers who constructed the building. He subsequently recommended their prosecution. The Lagos State Governor, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode, disclosed the readiness of the state to proceed, but the engineers, Mr. Oladele Ogundeji and Mr. Akimbela Fatiregun, immediately approached the Federal High Court Lagos for the enforcement of their fundamental human rights. They asked the court to restrain the police from arresting or prosecuting them. The engineers rejected the coroner's verdict, describing it as unreasonable, one-sided, and biased. But Justice Ibrahim Buba, who heard their case, held that the engineers had not made a case for infringement of their fundamental human rights. He dismissed their applications on November 11, 2015, paving the way for their arraignment and trial. The state's Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Adeniji Kazim, led the prosecution team who appeared before Justice Lawal Akapo, sitting at the Lagos High Court, Ikeja. The commissioner told the court that the state has not been able to serve the charges on 3 out of 5 defendants. While the registered trustees of the church and one Jadni Trust Limited, the first and second defendants, were represented by counsel in court, the third to fifth defendants, Hard Rock Construction Engineering Company, and the 2 engineers were not represented. Mr. Kazim said the service could not be effected because the state did not have valid addresses for them. The court has, however, directed Mr. Oluseun Abimbola, the counsel who represented the first and second defendants, to furnish the prosecution with the valid addresses of the other defendants. The state has also slammed a 111-count charge against the accused persons. In count 1, the registered trustees of the Synagogue Church and the other defendants are charged with failure to obtain building approval, contrary to Section 41 of the Urban and Regional Planning Law of Lagos. In count 2 to 111, the other accused persons are charged with involuntary manslaughter, which led to the death of the victims. The court has adjourned further proceedings till the 11th of December. Shola Shoyeli, Channels Television News.
Former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan today narrowly escaped what could have resulted in a horrific situation in Bayelsa State after some suspected militants drove into his convoy in the state capital, Yenagoa. The suspected militants reportedly drove into the motorcade and chased it to the entrance of the private house of the former president in Yenagoa. They were eventually overpowered and arrested by a combined team of security operatives attached to Dr. Jonathan. It is not clear whether the incident is connected to the endorsement by the former president of the candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the December the 5th Bayelsa governorship election, Mr. Ceramica Dixon. The spokesman of the police in the state, DSP Asinim Buswat, told our Bayelsa state correspondent that the suspects are currently being interrogated at the command. He added that from preliminary investigations by the police, the suspects may have joined the convoy by mistake, thinking the motorcade belonged to that of their principal, who was not disclosed by the police. The first ever flyover to be constructed in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital, has been commissioned by former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. The project, which was executed by Governor Ceramica Dixon, is poised to bring relief to the usual traffic gridlock experienced along the Oxbow Lake axis in Yenagoa. The Azikoro Road dualization project was also commissioned.
It's a season of campaigns in Bayelsa State, but that hasn't stopped the governor, Ceramica Dixon, from doing his work. This pedestrian bridge, which is the first to be built, has changed the landscape of Yenagoa, the state capital, and it stands out as one of the success stories of the present administration.
The idea behind this flyover is that before this time, there's always a traffic hold-up here. And considering the very vital and important projects ahead of us, the Central Bank is ahead of us there, the Nigerian Content Building is ahead of us there, the Transportation Plaza is ahead of us there, the Federal Secretariat is ahead of us there. And this bridge also leads us to the AOG Hotel and also takes us to Southern Ijon through the Swale Market to Yenagoa Puruma Road. So the idea of the flyover here was to decongest this place so that when the traffic grows on, we will not have challenges getting here.
Former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan was around to commission this project, which he believes is the first of many more to come if the people vote for Governor Dixon again.
We are quite happy to associate with this very noble project. Ceramica Dixon, thank you for this. You are planning this state for our children and grandchildren, and that is what it should be, not for us who are going back home. And I believe that with their vision, and God willing, and I believe Bayelsans will all see with us and give you the opportunity to complete the normal term of 8 years. And we are doing this commissioning to the honor and glory of God.
Acting chairman of the PDP, Prince Uche Secundus, who commissioned the dualized Azikoro Road, urged the people to vote sustainability.
God, all the glory and thanks for this great achievement. And ask that the people of Bayelsa State to use this road and to remember that on the 5th of December, they must come out to vote for their son, who has achieved so much.
Indeed, the days ahead are crucial. The governor may have fulfilled his promise to the people, but will they return the favor by giving him a second chance? December the 5th will tell.
Meanwhile, the All Progressive Congress in the December 5th Bayelsa governorship elections, Mr. Timipre Silva, is promising to empower the people of Bayelsa State by embarking on massive development projects if elected into office. Mr. Silva made this promise during his campaign in different communities in Yenagoa local government area of the state. He urged his supporters to ensure that their endorsements translate into votes at the weekend.
Supporters of the All Progressive Congress governorship candidate, Mr. Timipre Silva, tripped out to receive him in Yenagoa, the state capital. Mr. Silva also visited various communities in the local government and ended up in Ekpetiama, where supporters were waiting to receive him. Mr. Silva was impressed with the support and urged them to ensure that their support translates to votes on election day. He promised to ensure that all indigents of the state are empowered if elected into office.
We will make sure that we will never forget you. In everything we do in the government, we will have you in mind. We will only have your well-being in mind. We will not build a flyover to nowhere. And also, not give cash to you to drive on the flyover.
Some of the supporters give reasons for throwing their weight behind Mr. Silva.
What he did for us during the 4 years he served was so good that, in fact, the people's lives were touched positively. So as he's returning, the people are very much ready to support him. And on that day, they are not going to vote for any person other than him and the APC.
When you know somebody and you have tried somebody, you know the level of confidence you will exercise in that person. So that's what we are here to do, to show him our concern and love for him.
It is now that we have realized that he was working, because the present government right now is not paying salary. Even in Yenagoa local government, we have not been paid for 4 months now. We have not been paid. So it is then we now realize that this man that was here was doing something. That is why we have now realized what he has been doing.
The campaign rally in Yenagoa ended in the Maranta community, where supporters have been waiting to receive the APC governorship candidate. Amaka Okafo, Channels Television News.
Well, it's time now for business news with Harriet Agbenyi.
You first. First Bank.
Welcome to Business News. The Senate Committee on Appropriation is seeking for an increase in the amount set aside for fuel subsidy in the supplementary budget submitted last week from 413 billion to 521 billion naira. This new figure includes an additional 108 billion naira meant for fuel subsidy in the last quarter of 2015, which was not captured in the initial 465.5 billion naira supplementary budget. The committee says the 413 billion naira is to pay fuel subsidy from January to September 2015, insisting that leaving the subsidy for the period of October to December out would cause another round of fuel scarcity in no distant time. With this addition, the supplementary budget before the National Assembly now stands at 573 billion naira. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria has approved the extension of biometric verification number registration for men of the armed forces. The Deputy Governor Operations at the CBN, Mr. Suleiman Barau, disclosed this today at a budget defense session at the National Assembly. The approval was granted following a request for extension by the Minister of Defense, Mr. Danali Mohammed, who had asked the Senate Committee on Appropriation to intervene and urge the CBN to extend the BVN registration for military operatives. Mr. Danali said the soldiers could not abandon their operations at the war front to go for the registration and should not be further punished by denying them access to their account. The African Center for Business Development Strategy and Innovation has held its second National Summit on Entrepreneurship and Innovation. The theme of the event focuses on entrepreneurship and value creation. Business correspondent Bolaji Akinwale reports. I apologize for not having audio to that report. But losses continued in the domestic equities market today as the all-share index shed 0.84%, dragged majorly by oil and gas heavyweights. Yemisi Ikbaye reports.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. The Nigerian equities market resumed south as investors continued to book profit of some major bellwethers. The all-share index dipped to 27,385.69 after shedding 0.84%. Market capitalization also dropped to 9.41 trillion naira. Forte Oil led Monday's top price losers with a 5% decline. The equity ended the session at 261 naira 73 kobo. Seplat and Mobil also suffered losses of 2.30% and 3.07% respectively. Total, Beta, Glass and GlaxoSmithKline were the session's top 3 price appreciators. Bank stocks continue to drive market volume, with FBN Holdings pulling 78.49 million shares ahead of Diamond Bank and Access Bank. When the closing gong sounded, volume came in at 319.78, valued at 3.01 billion naira in over 3,000 deals. And that's the stock market report, and I'm Yemisi Paye.
For the last day of trade for November, most of the major markets we tracked closed negative. And that's business news tonight. The rest of the news at 10 continues in just a moment. Stay with us.
You first. First Bank.
Ceramica, one of the largest makers of tile and bathroom solutions in Nigeria, has opened a showroom for sanitary wares, wall and floor tiles and more at Akin Adeshola Street in Victoria Island, Lagos. The showroom offers a one-stop center for bathroom furniture, kitchen and Italian security doors. Our correspondent Yomi Otaigbe was at the unveiling of the ultra-modern showroom and now reports.
It's been in operation since 2010 in the Oshodi area of Lagos, southwest Nigeria. But Ceramica has chosen now to roll out the red carpet and welcome customers and guests to its ultra-modern showroom on Akin Adeshola Street in Victoria Island and other parts of the state. Ceramica is one of the leading tile and bathroom solution providers in Nigeria, having in stock floor and wall tiles, bathroom fittings, accessories for the kitchen, and Italian security doors.
Our products start from the security, which means outside. We start with the wooden door, fire wooden door for hotels and for anybody, and steel fire doors, garages, and we are the producers also of all our own accessories.
We are manufacturing sanitary ware, tiles, bathroom accessories, faucets, bathtubs, the bathroom furniture, everything what you need in a bathroom. We have a very wide range of products for every pocket, so they will really find what they're looking for easily.
We have designs and ergonomic and aesthetic products. We are very following to fashion in the world, where it's going.
They have very, very good products. They have the varieties and class, and that's it. You can see for yourself. And I was impressed when I came here first.
With partners such as Vitra, Creavit, Dairy, and Frankie, among others, the management of Ceramica says the company will continue to help people achieve their building and renovation dreams for residential and commercial projects. Yomi Otaigbe, reporting for Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, IAAF Ethics Commission suspends 3 leading Kenyan athletic officials for 180 days on allegations of subverting anti-doping processes and embezzlement. That's on Sports News. Do stay with us.